أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين، والصلاة والسلام على خير خلقه محمد وعلى آله الطيبين الطاهرين. Brothers and sisters, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Let us talk about the three pillars of faith 10 centuries ago. Who established the foundations of all fields of knowledge that they got from Ahlul Bayt alayhim salam. Those who did put every effort to summarize the teachings of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam and the 12 Imams, error-free Imams from Ahlul Bayt alayhi salam, summarize all that and make it available to everybody after a long history. If we remember that the major occultation took place around 329-30 after Hijrah, this means that we are coming to the century which starts with 400, and we find in this time three scholars, namely Shaykh al-Mufid, then Sayyid al-Murtada, and the third one, Shaykh al-Tusi, who allowed us and made access for us to know about the teachings of Imams that were nothing but what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala revealed to the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, and the Prophet Muhammad taught the gate to the city of knowledge, and that's Ali, and from Imam Ali alayhi salam came to Imam after Imam until the 12th Imam. May Allah hasten his reappearance. So all the narrations, all the hadith, all the teachings, whether were compiled all together or separately, we find them in a very, very nice categorization and explanation with these three pillars of faith: Shaykh al-Mufid, Sayyid al-Murtada, and Shaykh al-Tusi, really great ulamas. Shaykh al-Mufid died in the year 413 AH, equivalent to 1022 CE. Shaykh al-Sharif al-Murtada died in the year 436 AH, equivalent to 1044 CE, and Shaykh al-Tusi died in the year 460 AH, equivalent to 1067 CE. What made these three so unique and significant? Yes, let us know that issuing fatwa and explaining the rulings on every subject matter is one of the duties of the scholars or the mujtahids. So before the major occultation, these were the narrators, the traditionalists, those who narrated only without giving fatwa, narrating, for example, if someone asked about a particular issue with regard to commerce or trade, the students of the Imam would narrate and report what exactly they heard from the Imam. So, for example, at the time of Imam Sadiq alayhi salam, if someone would come to Yunus ibn Abdul Rahman, or Jamil ibn Darraj, or Zurara ibn Ayun, and ask him about certain ruling, they would immediately tell the questioner about a hadith they heard it from the Imam. And of course, there is no need for chain of narrators, because the person is listening and quoting someone who directly, verbally quoted and got it from the Imam. And this applies to all other Imams. But what to do after the major occultation? These three brilliant scholars started to issue fatwas based on all those principles of jurisprudence and the method of ijtihad to deduce the law from the original sources. Let me give you one example, brothers and sisters, about Sheikh al-Mufid. While he was sitting in his office, a gentleman came and asked him, Sheikh, my wife was expecting a child, but unfortunately, at the time of delivering the child, she died. And now the fetus is still inside her. What shall we do? Sheikh Mufid said, according to sources available to me, when a person dies, automatically they have to bury him or her. This finished. After 10 years, the gentleman himself came holding in his hand a boy of 10 years old and came to the Sheikh and said, Sheikh, Salamun Alaikum, this is the very son that you managed to protect him and grant him, of course, by Allah's permission, the ability to survive. The Sheikh said that, remind me, what is it? So he said that, you remember that 10 years ago I came and told you about my wife? And you said, go and bury her. Yes, I did. But after that, you sent one of your colleagues who said, my master says that no, cut the belly of this lady, take out the fetus, then stitches to be given to that whatever wound, then bury her. Sheikh Mufid remembered that he never said that, but he focused on the word my master, and this was no one, according to him, other than the 12th Imam alayhi salam, to correct his fatwa. So he decided to stop issuing fatwa, broke his pen, and said, as long as I am on the verge of erring and by mistake saying something which is not right, that there's possibility of me that I commit some wrong thing. So he decided not to. But he received a message from the 12th Imam Jalallah Ta'ala Farajul Sharif, Sheikh Mufid, you continue issue the fatwas and we correct it whenever needed. Brothers and sisters, how great story, really. That because we believe in the 12th Imam. We believe in his supervision, and especially the ulama, such as Sheikh Mufid, when he's sitting there, and when a little mistake or error It wasn't his mistake because no precedent for such a case was made before. Now it was amended, and only then it became part of the rulings when a mother who is pregnant and about to, give delivery or to give birth to child, if anything happens to her and she dies, this is the way to cut the belly and take the child or the fetus from inside. Then, of course, she is going to be buried. In his dream, Sheikh Mufid saw once that Lady Fatima Salamullah alayha, of course, Sheikh Mufid was, and Sayyid Murtada and Sheikh Tusi all were in Baghdad that time. Okay? So Sheikh Mufid saw in his dream that Lady Fatima alayhi salam came knocking at the door and holding Hassan and Hussein, asking Sheikh Mufid, please teach my sons, educate them to the level that become scholars and servants of madhab. When he woke up in the morning, he was astonished. How could this be true? Lady Fatima Salamullah alayha is asking me to teach and educate her two sons? It was only few hours later that a lady in the name of Fatima bint Salih knocked at the door holding two sons, and these two sons later on were known as Al-Sharif Al-Radi and Al-Sharif Al-Murtada. So Sheikh Mufid knew that there is a particular command and a wisdom here that he saw that dream. He looked after these two boys until they become great personalities and scholars. The younger was Al-Sharif Al-Radi, who compiled Nahj al-Balagha, selected the sayings of Imam Ali alayhi salam and his sermons, his maxims very, very nicely, and this is called Nahj al-Balagha, or the path of eloquence, translated to many, many languages. But unfortunately, this Al-Sharif Al-Radi, the younger one, died when he was approximately 40 years old. But the other one, Al-Sharif Al-Murtada, who died at the age of 80 and became one of the great scholars and pillars of faith, to the extent that he used to argue and discuss various subjects of faith, of jurisprudence, of theology, and all other things with those who did not follow the path of Ahlul Bayt. And he was strong enough to tell us about the truth and explain to us the real meaning of Islam. Now, after Sayyid al-Murtada, who died in the year 436, a great student of his, Sheikh Muhammad ibn al-Hasan al-Tusi, became the great and outstanding figure of the Shia ulama in the history at that time. He was in Baghdad. Indeed, he learned from Sheikh Mufid and Sayyid al-Murtada, and now, in addition to his own effort, he inherited all those understandings from previous teachers, to the extent that many historians label him as Shaykh al-Ta'ifa, the great Sheikh of the Madhab or the Shia sect. Sheikh al-Tusi was in Baghdad. He got a very rich library, many books he wrote in various subjects and fields. He educated many students and brought to us brilliant ulama of that time. But according to the rift between the Boyards, who supported Shiism, and the Seljuqs, who supported Sunnism in its staunch way, the Sunnis attacked his house, burned his library, and he had to migrate, go down to Najaf, some 155 or 60 kilometers south, near the shrine of Imam Ali alayhi salam, to establish the very first seminary for the Shia along the history, which remains the source of illumination. And inshallah, the ulama who are educated there, those who made every effort to spread the teachings of Al-Bayt alayhi salam, continue to awaken people, educate them, and provide them with the true understanding of Islam. I have no time to tell you about the books of Sheikh Al-Mufid, but I only mention Al-Irshad, which has been translated into English. As-Sayyid Al-Murtada, as I said, he wrote many books and educated many students. Sheikh Al-Ansari, of course, Sheikh Tusi was the Sheikh Al-Ta'ifa. Again, his heritage is enriching the libraries, and still we benefit from all that. It is, brothers and sisters, our privilege, our honor to connect ourselves, go back to 1,000 years ago, see such great pillars of faith who serve with sincerity, and we have to learn from them. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.